So have you ever gotten an earworm? You know, that song that gets in your head and just won't go away? You know that research has shown that there is a way to get rid of it, or at least one good way is to replace it with another song, to get a new song. We're going to look at that today. Look at a way to find a new song, a song that God promises us, to replace those playlists in our head that are negative with maybe some positive ones. If you stick with us to the end, we'll offer a practice for this coming week that might just help do that. So let's go on this journey together, this journey along God's way, the marginal way. During this worship series, we are exploring how our everyday activities can become spiritual practices that bring more light and meaning to our lives. Maria von Trapp, the real Maria of The Sound of Music, said, "Music acts like a magic key to which the most tightly closed heart opens." Indeed, music is known to have powerful effects on our moods with its ability to literally move us. The psalmist proclaims that God can give us a new song, bringing us out of a miry bog. Today we affirm that attention to our music playlists can offer a transformative daily spiritual practice.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. When I feel afraid and I think I've lost my way, still you're there right beside me. Nothing will I fear as long as you are near. Please be near me to the Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
God, who sang all creation into being, we give you thanks for the sweet harmonies and soul-stirring rhythms that lift up our spirits in the dance of life. Open our eyes to the light of possibilities, even when the day ahead holds difficulties. Be with us, near us, beside us. Amen.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
More light More truth is breaking from your word. More light, more truth. Holy Spirit, help us hear what needs to be heard.
Well, hello again. Seeing you helps me feel a little better already. You know what else makes me feel better? Maybe you too. Music. Do you know that expression that music soothes the savage beast? You ever feel like a savage beast that needs soothing? Do you know what it feels like? What does being soothed feel like? Maybe it feels like saying, ah. Let's practice it. Let's think about something that's soothing, maybe some beautiful music. That feels good, doesn't it? You know, the Bible tells us that God will put a new song inside of us that will make us feel better. We have been here at this time with children, with our Time with Children lamp, remembering that there is a light inside of us. And so we turn on that light. Are you ready? Ta-da! More light. Maybe you at home have a lamp and you want to turn it on now too. So here, we'll do a ta-da just for you. In 3, 2, 1, ta-da! That's great, isn't it? Do you have a favorite song? Maybe your current favorite song. Can you imagine it in your head right now? Or maybe sing it out loud if you want. Let's think about it. Are you hearing it? Yeah? What do you do when you hear music? Does it make you move? Make you feel good? Maybe make you want to dance a little bit? Well, maybe that's the practice for this week. Put on some music, even if it's in your head. You even have to sing it yourself. And maybe you crank it up loud, if the adults in your house will let you. And maybe you find some space and you let it move you and you dance around. How does that sound? It could happen. It could be a wonderful gift that you give yourself this week, something that cheers you up, something as simple as the gift of music. Because sometimes that's all it takes. In these long, cold winter days when we might be stuck inside more than we want, we can still receive all kinds of gifts. One of which is music, to make us feel better and to bring more light. Okay, let us now share together our Repeat After Me poem. There is a lamp inside of me. It's always there for all to see. But there are times the light feels dim and things are tough and just too grim. But that's okay. When I feel down, I know in time it turns around. I'm not alone when I am sad. I'm always loved. For that, I'm glad. And I'm glad we had this time together. And I'm glad that I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
More light, more truth is breaking from your word. More light, more truth. Holy Spirit, help us hear what needs to be heard.
I waited patiently for the Sovereign One, and God inclined to me and heard my cry. God drew me up from the desolate pit, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. God put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Will see many and fear and put their trust in the Sovereign One. Happy are those who make the Sovereign their trust, who do not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after false gods. You have multiplied, O Sovereign, my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. Were I to complain and tell of them, they would be more than can be counted. Sacrifice and offering you do not desire, but you have given me an open ear. Burnt offering and sin offering you have not required. Then I said, Here I am. In the scroll of the book it is written of me. I delight to do your will. O my God, your law is within my heart. I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. See, I have not restrained my lips. As you know, O Sovereign, I have not hidden your saving help within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation. Do not, O Sovereign, withhold your mercy from me. Let your steadfast love and your faithfulness keep me safe forever.
Music is amazingly powerful, isn't it? Children will almost naturally sing. It's hard to stop them sometimes. As they're learning words, they put them to tunes they make up in their heads. And it's only as adults when we get a little more self-conscious, when we start to learn a little too much, that we might back away from singing out because we think of it being a bit imperfect. Maybe we reduce ourselves to only singing in the shower. But even there, we don't stop when we're alone because we know the joy that it brings, right? What it does for us. Or we tune in the radio. We have playlists that fill our day, that set the mood, that help us to feel better. We're hardwired to have music inside of us. In fact, it's very much true. Scientists have discovered that the pentatonic scale with its progressions and creating of harmonies is something we just naturally know. It comes out of us. The great singer, the a cappella artist Bobby McFerrin will often do that with audiences, where he will get them to find the next note in the chord, and they always do. It just comes out naturally. It's a fascinating thing about how our brains work. Or maybe you have seen the work of musician Jacob Collier, who during his performances will get the audience to start singing along. And it is something that almost moves one to tears. I don't know why that is. Here, watch this short video and see for yourself. you see what I mean? Isn't it emotional? Can you imagine being in that audience? It is something that is natural. It's across nature. I once was at a concert of the Paul Winter Consort, and he is one who creates music in conjunction with nature, takes recorded whale songs and plays music complementary to it. Or he has a song called Wolf Eyes that sounds like a howling wolf on his soprano saxophone, and it is just exquisitely sublime. And then at most of his concerts, after playing that, he encourages the gathered audience to sing in what he calls the Hallelujah chorus, and just has everyone howl. And that happened at the concert I attended, and it sends shivers down your spine. There's something about connecting to one another and to the natural world through music, through song. God's people have known that. The one book of the Bible that is not addressed to us, but is us addressing God, is the book of Psalms. It is a book of music, of songs, things that we sing to God. Some of them are laments, and some of them are joyous. It runs the gamut of human expression because that's who we are, how God made us, and we can express ourselves through poetry. And sometimes when we take that spoken word and add music to it, it creates song. This is the weekend that we remember the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we remember him for his leadership, but we also remember the movement, the civil rights movement that he was such an integral part of. A movement that was so regularly based and sprouted from the Black church experience. The experience of Blacks in America, we know, has been horrific. It led to the need for the civil rights movement, and it's still very alive today in the needs that we must address to undo the racism that is systemic in our society and is a cancer upon it. But in the Black church, having lived with that, having its roots in the fields of slavery, knew that one had to communicate through song. It's a part of that experience. The gospel music that we hear coming from that tradition starts with the wail in the fields, the person moaning through the hardship of that labor, and the drums that drive the rhythms in Black music come from the drums communicating from one village to another in Africa and transported to the experience in America. There is precious little popular music today, from rock and roll to hip hop and all forms of pop, that does not have its roots and influence in the Black experience in America. God's people in oppression in America understood that God provides a new song, that in the slog through the miry bog, there is a reason to sing, even if it's just to hope for the time to come. Music has always given us a way to archive our story, to remember our past. And it also has always given us those lofty emotional goals of envisioning a better world, a new future, a future we may not see in the present. That is a rich gift of the gospel music experience that has been gifted to all of culture through the experience of Black Americans. The great Black theologian and civil rights leader Howard Thurman wrote poetry, some of which has been set to music. And there's one for this season of Epiphany that we have sung in our congregation that has been set to music. And they are words that speak to us in this season. Listen to them now. The work of Christmas. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among others, to make music in the heart. Friends, we are in the season where the work of Christmas begins. We are called upon to do those things, to lift up the powerless, to feed those who are hungry, to provide homes for those who are homeless, to do the heavy lifting of bringing about the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And did you hear in that poem how it began and how it ended? The bookends of that poem are music. It begins with the music of the angels, and it concludes with the music in the heart. If we are to do the work of Christmas, to build the kingdom of heaven that Jesus proclaimed and assured us was present if only we had the understanding to perceive it, the eyes to see, the ears to hear. If we are to do that, then we are going to need music. Whether it comes from celestial regions and inspires us with awe and maybe a bit of fear, but more especially if it comes from within. If we have learned that the song is within us, that the Spirit sings like the bird who lifts its voice before the dawn, to burst forth into song, to burst forth in faith and hope, because we are never far from the voice of our God, and it always sounds like an angel singing. Amen.
Open unto me light for my darkness, light for my darkness. Open unto me, open unto me light for my darkness. Open unto me, O God. To me, strength for my weakness, strength for my weakness. Open unto me, strength for my weakness. Open unto me, O God. Open unto me, peace for my turmoil, peace for my turmoil. Open unto me, peace for my turmoil. Open unto me, O God.
God of music and ageless melodies. We sometimes feel like a broken record. We are sometimes overwhelmed by the cacophony of this world, by the discord and anxious noises that seem to blare over your promises of peace. There are moments when we get stuck on repeat, or our voices fall flat, or we struggle to find your rhythm. Help us to simply listen and to hear your love in our very own heartbeats. May we know that you are in every broken chord, in the silence between every sound, and singing in us always.
Open unto me, light for my darkness, light for my darkness. Open unto me, open unto me, light for my darkness. Open unto me, oh God.
Thank you for spending this time together with us. I hope that you found something to take away from this that will be positive for you. There'll be something for your week. Maybe you might even respond by making an offering to our ministry. Certainly, liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel are ways that are real helps. And here's that gift that I promised you at the beginning. A practice for this week. Make a playlist. Use the app on your phone to create a list of songs that you want to hear. Maybe go old school and get some CDs together or whatever you have. Maybe you still use vinyl. Put together a plan to listen to a little bit of music each day. Or alternatively, maybe you could make a little music each day. Maybe this is the week to pick up that dusty old guitar and strum a few chords. Make it a habit. Find a song to celebrate each and every day, at least one. Spend some time with the power of music. And until we meet again on God's Marginal Way, blessings upon your journey.
One man comes in the name of love. One man comes and goes. One man come he to justify. One man do overthrow. In the name of love. What more in the name of love? In the name of love. What more in the name of love? One man crawled on a barbed wire fence. One man he resist. One man washed up on an empty beach. One man betrayed with a kiss. In the name of love. What more in the name of love? In the name of love. What more in the name of love? Nobody like you. Nobody like you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Early morning, April 4th, shots rang out in a Memphis sky. Free at last, they took your life, they could not take your pride. In the name of love, what more in the name of love? In the name of love, what more in the name of love? In the